Hey everyone, welcome to Love Lives Here, 40 Days of Reconnection. And I'm excited, I'm Shelley Darling, and happy to be hosting this call with Kathleen Brigidina. And we are stepping in today in this turning into the reconnection with the sacred, with all life. And I'm here at the Co-Creators Convergence, and put that sign down for a minute, and just a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence and Love Lives Here. So the next 3 days, we are converging here in Loveland, Colorado, and beautiful day, pond right outside, all the elements are here, and we're here just really supporting Love Lives Here. And in reflection of, if you think of yourself as this reflecting pool of how love is living here, the sacred within all life, in our heart, in our home, on the land, and in our communities. So today we're just blessed to have Kathleen Brigidina here. She's a council guardian of Loving Waters, as well as just total support for Tree Sisters. So I'm sure she's going to share a little bit about that as well. So if those of you are looking for us, you want to always go to loveliveshere.today, and you'll find a daily digest. It's very simple, with beautiful art, live art offerings and articles and blogs and interviews. And again, we'll be here every morning for our Heart Resonance Attunement. So with that, I'm going to hand over this crystalline virtual talking stick to the beautiful Kathleen Brigidina, and she'll be sharing her water wisdom share. And we'll be right here.
Thank you, Shelley. It's really beautiful to be here and to kick off the next 10 days of Love Lives Here with reconnecting to sacred, which is never disconnected from us, but to acknowledge that connection. And of course, please come to loveliveshere.today to get all the, it's just a wealth, a golden spring of information about just about every way of connecting back together with each other, artistically and spiritually, and earth, through the earth, and caring for the earth, and with all the things that are going on right now. So I'm actually doing a mandala on there. I've been doing it for 31 days now, and each morning I wake up and I listen to a different mantra. I started with the same mantra that we were working with in the beginning, but then I started using other mantras just to tune me in different ways to self, others, earth, and now sacred. And it's really been something for me, myself personally, that I make little videos, and you can see those on the website. And each day, 5 to 7 minutes, and I just play with paint and concentrate on the mantra and the reconnecting area that we're in. So today is reconnecting to sacred, which, as I started to paint this morning, I realized that I'm doing this in a pattern of a mandala, which started in the center with us and connecting to ourselves, and then going out, connecting to others, and going out and connecting to earth, and then going out, connecting to sacred. And I thought I had the pattern, and it seemed to be, a very good, doable pattern. And then I just began organically. But as I started to move through, even with the others, I started bringing the energy of the others back to the center, into connecting to myself. Because everyone in my life, my family, my friends, my daughters, my husband, everyone in Loving Waters, everyone in Tree Sisters, all of these energies around me come back in to feed my connection to myself, help me see myself, like Shelley was saying, that reflection. And then with Earth, it was even more powerful. I just felt all of these roots and everything coming through all of us and coming back into the center again. And just we're like this one living, growing flower, plant, tree ourselves. And then now with Sacred, it just took on a completely different yet same, but bigger feeling of that. Whereas that in everything that we touch, do, and say is sacred. And when I brought out the energy of the earth, the water was the along with the pigments that I use waters and oils, and I use sacred waters from different wells. And as I was starting to bring those through, I was just feeling the water actually being the connecting force, that is connecting all of that. And so there was this flow that just went in, and all of a sudden I could just feel the mandala starting to spin and starting to, kind of engage. And I know that it's something that I'm not creating. It's just something I'm tapping into that we're all a part of. So I'm really, really honored to be here today to talk about it as well, to share about water and the sacredness of it, which is known across the world. So I just want to share from my point of view. When I was young, first of all, the first place that I really felt the sacredness of water was in church. I was raised Catholic, and the holy chalice, and blessing yourself. And when I was little, I really felt it and believed it. As I got older, I learned to know that the water was still sacred, and the things that we honor in our oneness are still sacred. The the religious patterns that some want to follow may not be my path, and but that connection has never left me. And when things were very tumultuous in my home, I would retreat to the water. If it wasn't summer and I couldn't go in the river or the pool or whatever, I would go into the shower. And we had a well. And so, I would try to do it when no one was home, because then they wouldn't rush me out of there. And yes, I was wasting water, but I would cry in there. I would pray in there. And it was, I wasn't alone there. I was alone, but because the water was there, I wasn't alone. And I could go into that, much more deeply, but that was the place I learned to meditate when I was 14. I realized through the crying and the praying and all of that, all of a sudden I just felt my body actually just coming into alignment with the water, and allowing the thoughts just to flow down the drain and come through me, and not get stuck in pain patterns or sadness of things that were going on, in the world or in my home or wherever they happen to be happening. And it has never left me. That's still my place. I try to be a lot more conservative with the water, but it's still my place, and I can't give it up. And I can do it in big bodies of water, but my shower is right there. So I'm just putting that out there for all of you too. The way that I conserve water with it is, if I want to take a bath, I would put the plug in, and then I would get into an empty bath and let the shower fill, instead of just letting the faucet fill, and the shower just running over my body. And that's where I meditate, and I go into my best state of being. And so it only lasts until the water is full, and then I turn it off and I lay there for as long as I need to. But I just wanted to share that with you first. And then bringing out to, the sacredness of water around the world. I mean, I've always been drawn to that, like I said, and the holy wells and the sacred springs all over our planet. And you can see behind me, I have, water from Lourdes, and I have Kitchitikipi is the closest sacred spring to me, to Kitchitikipi in Michigan. And I also have sand as well as the water, because the water is really something that is in everything. So when you start to, think about the water, then you realize, what is the land that it's connected to? What are the particles that it's connected to? Where are the people that it's connected to? And, there's from over 52 different sites here, which isn't even touch the surface. It's something that researching more and more, though. And a lot of them have survived. Some of them have been capped off, but they have survived. But they go down the wells, go down into the earth, into the core of the earth. And I believe that they share information with each other throughout the center core of the earth in that way. And it's a sacredness that a healing. And I believe that that healing that they've been looking towards for centuries, more than centuries, for, healing arthritis or pains or, rheumatism, even just nervousness that people are feeling. And I believe it is tapping into that revering and appreciation and the guardian light of it, the spirit of it, of water, holds all of that sacredness in such a beautiful way that how can we possibly not know how precious it is? So I know that we do know how precious everything is, but we decide to choose whether something is precious at that moment or not. And I just, I want to do a prayer in a minute, just to bring us all into a place of knowing that we are all sacred beings of whatever religion, culture, it doesn't matter. I mean, these sacred walls are known through all culture, through all religious environments. There isn't, and it is a tie that the water has been used. And so when I wanted to explain this back here, it's a canvas that I did on an Earth Day celebration when I was doing a water blessing. And I found out that grandmothers Mary Lyons and Flora de Mayo were going to be there, and they were going to be part of this, and that I was going to be leading the water. Well, I got very humbled by that, in fact, nervous and everything else, and also just, reverent about what they carry and bring into this world. And I thought, how can I, even bring any blessing that I've ever heard before from anyone, whether it be theirs or anyone's. So I needed to find my own. And so I found this with my art pigments. And they're all natural pigments from the earth. And each one represents a different color for a different nation in our world. So the blues are the Americas, and the greens are the Africans. The purple is for Europe. The white is the Antarctic, and the yellow is Asia. And what came to me was using the water. We were blessing the Chicago River that leads into the Lake Michigan at the time. And I used the water, we used the water, to blend all of the colors together as a conduit for peace and oneness. And I first passed it to grandmother Flora de Mayo, and she used the feather and the water. So all of this, it was about 200 people that day, but I brought it through about 4 different places now. And all of the energy for creating that oneness through the water, using water as our conduit. So if I have a little bit of time, let's see where we're at time-wise. I think I have a couple minutes. So I just want you all just to close your eyes and just come into your prayer position, your meditative position, whatever that is, where you are connecting to the sacred. And just take nice deep breath and listen to the sound of the water that I have behind me. I want you to feel that sound of that water like running through your body, running through your toes, up your legs, and your fingers, through your arms, and the top of your head, down through your neck, and all converging in your heart. And then picture yourself as the globe, as the world, as the planet, as Earth. You are reconnecting to self. reconnecting to others, reconnecting to Earth, and now reconnecting to sacred, all inside of you. This is happening in your heart. And feel all of the colors of all of the peoples. It's only pigment and color. It's no difference. We are all the same. And water is our source of life. It is what we are 99% made of. We literally do not exist unless water exists. And so I believe that sacred prayer that we can send out from our heart right now, using the water as a conduit of prayer for what we desire, which is a healing for this planet, a healing for each one of our hearts, as we are not separate from anything that is happening. And it all starts within, inside each one of us. Being honest and exposed and wanting that raw realness of who we really truly are at our basic nature, and knowing, connecting to that is sacred. That is our sacred calling. Your spirit. And to honor your spirit is to honor the water. To honor the water is to honor your spirit and our collective spirit. I want you just to feel that in your heart, and now feel it just radiating out from you through all of the waters of you, but also past you, past that energy that is all water, that air, the breath is water. And just tapping into it and appreciating it, relishing it, knowing that it is our source, it is not resource. We get to drink it, and it is a privilege. Thank you for having me on and listening.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. That deep presencing of water as the movement of all life, as you were saying, spirit was so powerful. And that what you're sharing, this water being the sacred conduit of peace and unity and love, this rippling. I love watching that flowing water behind you, just reminding us, this is a reminder of who we really be, that how love is living here in our heart. And I just wanted to share a little bit about, before we go, just, that, we all have this capacity to be in touch with our waters. And when we are, we feel home and we feel whole. And so Loving Waters, you can go to lovingwaters.life and look at how you can become a water steward, become aware of the watershed that you're in and why you would want that. So one of the things that Loving Waters offers is a new moon call, which will be coming up. We just had the full moon, so we do water blessings on the full moon locally and globally. And then the new moon call, which is where we invite you to come together with us, with people all over the world, really sharing their water wisdom practices. And as Kathleen shared, that was great. I loved how you were sharing that about the bath. And we share our water wisdom practices and how many of us who had just been simply doing it by ourselves now are feeling more comfortable doing community water blessings. Or we have a water blessing brochure that it's a simple tool that you can hand to a teacher. A teacher can take it into their schools and do it with the kids, or parents could do it with their families, just really supporting that, the joy of being in relationship to water. Yes, playing in water, obviously, we all love to play in water and swim, but also having that deeper reverence and understanding what the water is really giving us. You know, that blessing. So we're blessing the water, but the water is really blessing us, reminding us of who we really are. So this flow of our collective spirit. So thank you so much for being here. I love it. And we'll share this out, and please come join us for our new moon call. I don't have the date right in front of me, but again, you can go to lovingwaters.life. And we have 9 more days of Love Lives Here and that reconnection with the sacred within our life. And the best way to come in and participate is to go to loveliveshere.today, get that daily digest. It's not overwhelming. The invitation is to simply come into resonance and see what calls you. And we'll be seeing more live art from Kathleen, which is incredible, sacred earth art, and so much more. So thank you so much, Kathleen. It's been a joy to be here. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we will be carrying that frequency of the water into our heart resonance attunement, where everyone and anyone can be part of that. So that's 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern. So blessings, blessings, blessings. And Kathleen, let's end with that just simple Emoto water blessing, which is: water, we love you. Water, we thank you. Water, we respect you. So blessings, and thank you very much. Bye for now.
Bye.